Did you know that 88% of people admit to procrastinating at least an hour every day? And yet, no matter how much we tell ourselves to just get started, we still put things off. We blame it on laziness, distractions, or a lack of motivation. But what if procrastination isn't just a bad habit? What if it's a glitch in the way our brains are wired? Neuroscientists have found that procrastination isn't about time management, it's about emotion management. When we procrastinate, we're not avoiding the task itself. We're avoiding the discomfort, anxiety, or uncertainty that comes with it. Our brain, designed for survival, prioritizes short-term relief over long-term rewards. This is why we endlessly delay the things that truly matter. And behavioral scientists confirm this. Hidden cognitive biases trick us into believing that later is always a better time to start. But here's the truth. Later is an illusion. The same reasons you're postponing today will still exist tomorrow. If you don't recognize and outsmart these mental traps, you'll keep falling into them over and over again. But the good news? Once you understand the psychology behind procrastination, you can break free from it for good. Now, let's uncover the hidden biases that are quietly sabotaging your progress and, more importantly, how you can take back control. Number 1, present bias. Why future you always gets the work? Your brain is not designed for long-term success. It's designed for survival. And one of the biggest culprits behind procrastination is present bias. This cognitive distortion makes you prioritize immediate pleasure over future benefits, even when you logically know that long-term rewards are more valuable. Think about it. Scrolling through social media, binge-watching a show, or grabbing that extra slice of cake all feel satisfying in the moment, even if they hurt you in the long run. The same bias makes you believe that future you will be more disciplined, more focused, and finally ready to tackle that project. That's why people sign up for gym memberships with full confidence, only to skip workouts when the time actually comes. In reality, the future version of yourself is just you, facing the same temptations and excuses. Psychologists studying temporal motivation theory found that the further away a reward feels, the weaker its influence on our decisions. This is why saving money for retirement feels less urgent than buying something right now, or why writing a book sounds exciting, until you actually have to start typing. The key to outsmarting present bias is to make future rewards feel immediate. One powerful trick? The 2-minute rule? Commit to just 2 minutes of a task. Why? Because your brain resists big commitments, but once you start, momentum makes it easier to keep going. Another approach? Create instant consequences for procrastination. Apps like BeMinder or StickHey charge you money if you don't follow through on your commitments. When you attach a cost to delaying, you force your brain to take action now rather than relying on future you to be more responsible. Number 2, the planning fallacy, why you always underestimate time. Ever told yourself you'd finish a project in an hour, only to realize 3 hours later that you're still working on it? That's the planning fallacy, a well-documented cognitive bias that makes us consistently underestimate how long tasks will take, even when we have past experiences that prove otherwise. This happens because your brain naturally assumes things will go smoothly. It's why students pull all-nighters, why construction projects always run over budget, and why we believe we can quickly clean the house, only to end up spending the entire day on it. One study by Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, the pioneers of behavioral economics, showed that even when people were asked to make realistic estimates, they still underestimated task duration because they focused too much on best-case scenarios rather than accounting for obstacles. So, how do you fix this? Use Parkinson's law, which states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. If you give yourself an entire day to finish something, you'll take the entire day. But if you limit yourself to a focused, realistic deadline, your brain adjusts. Instead of saying, "I'll finish my essay today," break it into specific and time-bound actions, like, "I'll write 200 words in the next 30 minutes." Structuring your tasks like this forces your brain to work within realistic constraints and prevents endless underestimation. Number 3, temporal discounting, the invisible cost of delaying. Why is it so hard to save money for the future, stick to a healthy diet, or invest in long-term success? It's because of a hidden cognitive trap called temporal discounting. Your brain naturally undervalues future rewards in favor of instant gratification. Behavioral experiments show that when given the choice between $50 today or $100 in a year, most people take the $50, even though waiting would double their money. The same logic applies to procrastination. Working toward your long-term success, whether it's learning a skill, building a side hustle, or exercising, feels less rewarding in the present than checking notifications or watching TV. So, how do you fight back? Make the future feel immediate. One of the best techniques is temptation bundling, a concept developed by behavioral scientist Catherine Milkman. It works like this. Pair something you enjoy with something you need to do. Only allow yourself to listen to your favorite podcast while working out, or drink your morning coffee while reading a book instead of scrolling through your phone. By linking instant pleasure to productive habits, you trick your brain into making long-term success feel rewarding in the present. Another powerful trick? Use time-traveling visualization. Studies show that when people vividly imagine their future selves, they make better long-term choices. So, instead of seeing your future self as a stranger, visualize them feeling the consequences of today's actions. Picture the regret of missing an opportunity, the stress of last-minute work, or the satisfaction of having taken action. When you bring the emotional impact of the future into the present, delaying becomes much harder. Number 4, ego depletion. Why willpower alone won't save you. You've probably heard that success is all about discipline and willpower. But what if I told you that willpower is a finite resource, one that gets weaker as the day goes on? This is called ego depletion, a psychological phenomenon discovered by Roy Baumeister, showing that every decision you make drains your mental energy. That's why resisting junk food at night is harder than in the morning, and why after a long day of work, even simple tasks feel exhausting. Think of willpower like a battery. It starts fully charged, but every choice you make throughout the day drains it little by little. That's why successful people remove unnecessary decisions from their lives. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day, not because he lacked style, but because he understood that reducing small, meaningless choices preserves mental energy for important work. So, if willpower alone won't save you, what will? Automation and prioritization. Automate small decisions. If you struggle with healthy eating, prep your meals in advance so you don't have to decide in the moment. If you want to work out, lay out your gym clothes the night before. Tackle the hardest task first. There's a method called Eat That Frog, coined by productivity expert Brian Tracy, which means doing your most difficult task first thing in the morning, when your willpower is at its highest. Reduce daily friction. If checking your phone is distracting you, put it in another room. If social media is an issue, block access during work hours. By removing obstacles, you eliminate the need for constant self-control. In the end, the secret isn't to rely on more willpower, but to use it wisely. By structuring your environment and habits so that procrastination isn't even an option. So in conclusion, the truth is, procrastination isn't about laziness. It's deeply rooted in psychology. Your brain plays subtle tricks on you, whispering that now isn't the right time, that later will be easier, that your future self will magically wake up more disciplined. But now that you're aware of these hidden traps, present bias, the planning fallacy, temporal discounting, and ego depletion, you have the power to break free. The choice is yours. Will you take action today, or will you let later steal another day from your life? Let me know in the comments which of these biases resonates with your experience the most. And if this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because your journey to mastering your mind is just getting started.